All right. So you both obviously have had a chance to read the blog, correct?
Yes.
All right. Windu, I know you were away, but you've had a chance to read it. I know because you're always on top of that. The visual effects. I have to ask you, Windu, have you played as Twin Blast yet?
See,
How do you feel about that visual effects? Because you know how I feel about Twin Blast and how I don't feel immersed in you for the ultimate. Do you feel a little immersed, a little more immersed with it, or no?
I was gonna say my connection is hella slow right now, guys. Go keep going over it.
I'm sorry. What was that? You literally, I can't hear you. Like,
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Yo,
picking up on
so
the
I
audio.
haven't played since I left for Puerto Rico.
oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. So, all right. All good then.
I mean,
All right.
it looks good. It's a better
I
visual indicator.
Oh no, definitely, and that's my biggest thing of what I was saying with Twin Blast is I always feel like I didn't know. You have to listen for Twin
So
Blast to
I don't
hear the
know if you
double shots.
guys can actually hear me on time just because I am in the hotel, right? But as far as the way that it looks,
And boom. All right.
He'll come back.
Yep.
No,
I'm here.
oh, you're here? Okay.
Hello, hello.
You're okay.
It
We got audio, but we don't have visual.
might honestly, Windu, I don't know if you have your camera on, it might kind of screw things up because we're only catching like every other word that you're saying. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what I was checking right now. If I turned off the camera, if would it actually get better? And it
yeah,
looks like it kind of did. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah. You sound a lot better. Yeah. You literally sound like we're doing a normal show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be real with you. Let's keep it on the just no camera for now, unfortunately, because I'm at the hotel.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
And when
no,
and
like,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna answer your question because you
Okay.
asked me as far as Twin Blast as an immersion and all that. Now I haven't gotten a chance to play since I left for Puerto Rico.
Yep.
I literally got home and within 48 hours I had to leave town again for the convention that I'm at.
Yep.
So I haven't played it, but just looking at it, I do remember us talking about the whole it like you don't get any sense of feeling when you use his abilities.
Yep.
With Twin Blast, you could pop his ultimate and his right click, and you're like, you know what? My homie's still shooting. I can tell he's shooting a little faster, or like the double shot, but it's not that much. It's not that impactful.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
now, just looking at the glowing, I think it looks way, way, way better.
For sure. For sure. And that's what we were talking about before. And like you said, we brought it up. And it was like the only way for you to know that you were in the ultimate is you had to listen for the double shot. And if you didn't hear that double shot, then you're like, okay, I'm not using my ultimate. My ultimate's just on cooldown. You know, it's like it just you didn't I don't know. That's why I never played Twin Blast. I was like, I don't feel that way. And now that I see this, I didn't even that's the thing is that's what I brought up last episode with Russ. I don't know the visual effects that got really fixed and how it worked. Yeah, I saw in the updates that Twin Blast got a visual effects update. Okay, that doesn't mean that his ultimate's gonna look better or whatever. So they put this in there now. I was like, all right, now I want to go out and play Twin Blast. All right, I want to load up, play Twin Blast, and actually see what it feels like. See if I can feel immersed with it. You know, I'm like, because I do like to play carry, and I'm like, this might actually be that final thing that makes me want to do it. So
Well, that and
Now I'll be real with you. We kind of talked about this off a little bit off stream, but I 100% noticed whenever I saw this update and I saw you and Russ talking about the Murdock passive last week.
Yep.
I was like, wait a minute. So this shit's been out, but it didn't get posted?
Right.
Yep.
They didn't, and they posted it. It was in words. It was in words, letting you know that it happened. Right. So I told you Murdock passive visual effects, a change or whatever, or update or whatever. But but you didn't visually, you didn't put this little GIF in there to show you actually what happened. So you don't know what visually changed. When I first read it, I thought the wee-woos were gone. I'm like, oh, okay, so there's no more wee-woos. I wonder what they did to it. Well, the wee-woos are still there. They put a circle, a blue circle, red and white, a red and blue circle on the person. We'll scroll up and you can see it. You know, on the person, it kind of puts that blue target on them. You know, that's how you know that's, you know, the person that is the person that's low, and you're able to chase them down. You know, but the wee-woos are still there. So, but it didn't
Can you see that target through the wall?
Through a wall? I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't think so. If you don't have vision, I'm pretty sure it doesn't show up.
Yeah,
So
I think you.
you
Yeah,
still
Because
get
you know how even through a wall, if they're within range, it goes wee, wee,
yeah,
and you can
You
kind of track somebody.
yeah,
you still get
Whether
the wee woos.
the right
yeah.
turn and whatnot.
Yeah, the wee-woo's still there. I know that because I played last night. The wee-woos are still there, but you don't. I don't think you see the. No, you know. As a matter of fact, I know you don't see the blue circle.
Yeah.
Because I literally was because sometimes you can like you start running and you get the wee-woos and all of a sudden they go away. So then you turn and you wait to find the wee-woos again. Like, okay, keep going this way. And I did that. I was like, okay, but if I would have saw the blue circle, I'm like, okay, just follow that. So and chase the wee-woos. So no, it doesn't show up through a wall.
So the circle, if you look closely, you can see that it's animated and it's spinning
Yes,
on
yep.
the target and stuff.
Exactly.
That looks dope as shit.
No, I like
I
it.
wish it were red though, not that light blue.
Yeah, they've a lot of these visual effects that they've added in, and as long as they continue to add them in, I think is like it's just very visually clear. 'Cause
Yeah.
before I think that was like a big issue that people had with Fallout, which was that there's not much feedback visually or audio wise. There's not much like feedback, so it's like
Right.
kind of hard to tell what's going on. And I think this is like clearing it up, quite a bit. So hopefully they keep just plugging away with it.
Yeah, these are quality of life changes that they needed to do. For
I
sure.
think what they should have done and what they can change it to probably is that big circle of that of the reticle that you see there. I think that needs to be that should sync with his lights, his wee-woos, and it should go red, white, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, and the inner circle can stay where it's at and do the spinny thing it does. That just kind of gives you that it ties in with him even better. Because that blue spinning reticle, that could be the same thing for. I mean, it's not because we can scroll down and you can see that Bellica's reticle is different, but it could be the same thing. But you add that red blue, that's Murdock. That's him.
So I think the only thing that they added on Bellica's ult was she in Paragon she had this like little. You can see it very briefly. It's a very small detail, but it's like a little scanner thing that like targeting reticle that appears in front of her eye, the one that she's aiming with.
Okay.
So when she like pulls the gun out and shoots, you see that there's like a little.
Oh yeah,
in front of her
yeah.
eye.
It comes all right. So okay, yeah. I didn't even
so
see that.
And that's.
I more fell in love with the fact that she's finally got her little scanner, like as she's backing, that backing animation. That's like, oh, she's got it. Now my question: if they have that in the backing animation, do you now have that in the emote?
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
hope so.
But that visual effect was added because of I'm gonna say it because of me. Boy, I was telling Jameson he was going through some of the visual effects on the characters, and that was something that I remember from Paragon because one of her skins she has two different colored eyes, and the eye that she aims with is like a light blue.
Okay.
It's the skin where she's got blonde hair and the white armor.
Okay. Yep.
So. But I just remembered that from Paragon. She had like a little, like almost like a DBZ like power level scanner or whatever that appeared above one of her eyes. So I got him to go through it, and sure enough, we found it, and he put it on her. So
it gives me that what was that old movie? It was Ultimate Soldier or whatever. I had Jean-Claude Van Damme in it, I believe. It kind of gives me some kind of feeling like that.
Yeah.
No, I like her that animation, all of that's great. Even the Grux animation, like him turning this like burning orange and his his clubs, catching fire pretty much too. I like it. My only question is Grux and Twin Blast, are they almost an identical animation? Just one's like a redder tint, the other one's orange, the other one's red. Like they literally are like.
It's the same color scheme, but I don't think
That's
it's
a
the
good
same.
point. It looks like the same animation, but one's melee, one's ranged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish you would have went a little more original or unique, with their, it's not just like.
Or just change the color.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know too much about that process. All I know is that like a lot of the visual effects that came with the assets that Epic released weren't initially added in on the characters in Fault.
Okay.
Now they're kind of going.
Now they're going
them.
through and editing them through. Okay.
Right.
And that's because a 13 allowed you to do a lot more of this stuff. Is make it easier to add this stuff in.
I don't know if it was necessarily that.
Okay.
I think it was more so they have more people to kind of like a lot of these Jamson has been adding, and Jamson is game design, so it's not necessarily like his area, but he's learned how to do it. And a lot of them, like Sylphan, also has learned a lot about Unreal Engine. Like
Okay.
a lot of them that have started working for
up the work?
SMS. Huh? Oh, thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
A lot of them that a lot of them that have started working for SMS didn't really know anything about Unreal Engine and have learned through this process. So,
okay,
Jamp started going through and adding visual effects and stuff like that, and he's found that enjoyable, and I think has kind of been doing that on top of his other workload that he normally handles. And I think like Sylphan has learned a lot about like doing like level design and stuff like that. And so like a lot of the map stuff, like the gray boxes and stuff, he's done and learned how to do that. And Sylphan did a lot of work with the cameras too. So Fault had really bad cameras in the beginning. You know how you'd like get it against like a wall or something and you couldn't see in front of you at all? Well, now Sylphan's, added basically the functionality of where like if you go against the wall, the camera will pull back and it will zoom back. That way you can still see what's going on. You know what I mean? So like if you not necessarily in front of a wall, like facing a wall like this, but if you have a wall behind you, it was blocking it. But now the camera like goes upwards and pans out a little bit so you can see and the wall doesn't obscure your vision behind you. So a lot of that stuff they've kind of stepped up and started doing.
Yep.
So.
And they still need to do a little bit of work on that. I noticed this last couple nights of streaming. If I get like a Richter or a Steel behind me, that's now all of a sudden all I see. Like, so I need to like it needs to if they notice a wall or if there's a motion sense or something that says hey there's something behind you, you kind of like the camera's got to move a little bit just to kind of give you that visual. I'm not saying it's hard or not saying it's easy. I know that's got to be something hard to make work or whatever, but that's something that's like I'm like sitting there like fighting, and all of a sudden I just see Richter's back. I'm like, okay, I gotta like get out of my way. I was like, I have no clue what I'm looking at.
Well, it's probably they probably added the functionality, like basically like anytime. I don't know how the system works, but basically the camera does it automatically. So every time your back is up against a wall, the camera will pan up and move out of the way, right? And like kind of pan upwards and look more downwards, and then also like move back.
Yep.
Probably they don't have that functionality with heroes, but they probably should. If there's a big hero behind you, or just a hero in general that can obscure vision, the camera should probably also do that. They probably just haven't thought about that. So, I mean, that's something that's worthwhile to bring up for sure.
Oh, definitely. Cameras, yeah. So yeah, visual effects. I mean, I'm completely happy about them. My only thing that I always complained about, but I think this might change it, was Twin Blast's ultimate. I would rather have the Gatling gun, come out again, but this might actually make me feel like I enjoyed playing them. So I'll have to give it a try, see what we got.
I think
in general, for all the characters, if effects like these are added to all the characters, not only is it more visually appealing, but you just kind of enjoy that shit more. Like you're not only having fun, but everything looks dope.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
just moments like that bring excitement to you. I can't wait to pop my ult again. That shit looks dope as fuck.
Yeah, eye
Oh
candy.
yeah.
Just some eye candy with the game. It'd be nice, a little flair to it as you're playing.
Right. Well,
So
and the last point that I want to bring up about visual effects was specifically with like Grux or TB or any character down the road that has an ult that like basically is like an empowered, like it empowers your auto attacks, right? Like so both Grux and TB's ults just like make them hit harder basically.
yeah.
Um TB's gives them that extra dash and Grux gives them that like 0.5 seconds of a CC immunity when he's roaring. But other than that, the most important thing is that it gives them auto attack stims. And if you don't have some sort of visual indication for that, it's not so bad when you're playing the character because you know you've pushed R and you know you popped your ult. But playing against the character that
Yeah.
has that as it's important to have a visual indication of when they pop their ult because all of a sudden you're just going to be taking increased damage from this person and
Yeah.
you don't have a visual indication of that. You might box them for a few seconds before you realize like, oh
Yeah,
okay,
I'm being melted. What's going on?
yeah, so it's definitely important to know when that's happening so you can make the correct decision right away, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah, because you definitely know when a sparrow's ulting you. You can be like, okay, 3 arrows being shot at me. Let me back up a little bit. Hold up.
yeah.
I don't know why you're getting so hostile about it, but let's talk about this. But yeah, no, definitely and that's what me and Russ were talking about last week too. Is like that visual with Gideon. Gideon's is not on here, but the Gideon GIF where you can see his hands glow. His passive's active. And then it's okay. I got to dodge the next rock because he's just gonna throw it because he's ready to go. So it kind of which you almost knew anyways, but like it just kind of gives you that visual thing like, well, because even if like let's say I came into your lane to help you out, you're Bellica mid, and Gideon dropped 2 rocks on you. I don't know that Gideon dropped 2 rocks on you, so I don't know that he's got an extra rock ready for me. But I see his hands glowing. I'm like, okay, let me before I get this gank, let's see if we can bait this one out. So
Right.
gives you that help. New items. What do you guys think about the new items? I'm excited. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on what you think. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. All right.
I already have a good idea of what they are, so I'm not gonna say anything.
When do I know you're a tester, but I know you've been gone. Do you know what they are? If he's here, he might not be here.
Not,
all right.
not officially.
Not officially. Okay. All right. So I do. Okay. First off, I'm gonna say the gun. I think it's an ADC weapon or item. The chest plate. I think that's definitely gonna be a tank armor. But the little syringe here, I don't think this is an ending item. I think this is a build 2 item. This is like a tier 2 item. I don't think it's a tier 3 like a finished item. I think this is something you build into. Kind of like the green thumb. This is an alternate instead of the green thumb. I don't know what you would call it. I don't know what it's gonna give you, but I don't think this is a finished item. I think this is building into it.
That's the COVID vaccine.
This is the COVID vaccine. I will. All right.
Shit will jack you up,
Yeah. Hey, once you use the second shot, though, when you go to do your laning phase, you won't be able to hit minions very well. But once you get past laning phase, you'll be fine. Okay.
That's right.
You'll be fine.
Protected.
Yeah. You're protected. So the armor down here. This is the COVID plate. This is how I'll give you. The tanks are just trying to give COVID, so you have to get this little COVID shot, so this plate doesn't affect you.
Wait, I didn't even notice it, but that on the shoulder pads on that plate mail, it's kind of got like some
acid,
some weird little like
acid. Yes, yes. Windu, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I was gonna say it definitely looks like a mid-tier item, but it looks like one of those mid-tier items that has an active attached to it.
Yep.
Like as soon as you equip it, next thing you know, it just looks like a stim shot.
Yeah.
a fat one, but it looks like a stem shot. Like imagine you equip it, you don't have let's say you pop the active, now you have increased health regen for like the next 15 seconds.
Yeah. Possibly.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
somewhere along those lines where it won't be immediate health, but it might give you some sort of bane boost, if that makes sense. If you get
What
that
if it's
reference.
what if it's like a health regen speed boost, kind of like the on Apex? I can't remember his name. Octane. He's got that little shot, and then all of a sudden he just takes off running. You know, could be something similar to that.
It's possible.
Right. That seems a bit. That'd be more of like a finished item, I think. But it could. I'm just like, I see what you're saying. I'm kind of adding to it. Um,
I
definitely
think
can
you
see
guys are
that.
on the right train of thought though, on being a component with maybe an active or a passive that you're
Yeah,
buying
be
into.
mindful that a lot of these mid-tier items that have actives don't have the finished stats.
Right.
So let's say you have a mid-tier item that has an active, but you want the finished item because it gives you health, it gives you power, it gives you
Yep.
movement speed, whatever it may be. Just like the unyielding mantle, it has a tier 2 item that has a cleanse, but you don't get all the benefits of the full.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So just like obviously we talked about it before how Fault draws a lot of inspiration from League, and same thing with Predecessor. Arguably, Predecessor, the last alpha had a lot more items that were just straight up, versions of League items than Fault has. But I think Fault has been kind of bridging that gap as well. But both companies are really drawing inspiration from League. But if we go by them drawing a lot of inspiration from League, in League you have a lot of fully built items like Zonia's, right, which is like the stasis item. In Fault, what is it called in Fault?
Rad poise.
No, what is it called in Fault? The blue item that gives you the stasis.
Oh, Nirvana Jewel.
Nirvana Jewel. Yeah. So League, you have Zonia's, which is Nirvana Jewel, but in League, one of the components that you can buy is 600 gold. It's called Stopwatch. It's no stats, right? It just gives you the
Freeze.
stasis. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a one-time use until you build the full item. So you
Okay.
can use it one time, and then it turns into a broken stopwatch, is what it's called. You also have anti-heal components. You have the ADC item, the scimitar. I can't remember, Mercurial scimitar. I don't know if it. League just updated all their items, and I don't
Yo,
really know.
side note, that's totally a gun that shoots fire and burns you. Changed my mind.
It probably is, but yeah, you have like U mantle, the how it gives you the option to get out of CC or whatever. League has that for ADCs. It's an ADC item that gives you AD and uh, magic resist, but it also has a component called Silver Stash, which is like 1100 gold, and it has the active of the cleanse or whatever, and it has a little bit of stats on it since it's a higher cost component, but it does have that cleanse, so you can if and I think that that's important in these games because having to invest in a full item just for like an active or a passive can be kind of rough. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I need to buy these core items, but then based off, maybe I'm leaning against maybe like a Quang on their team is like super far ahead, or a Chimera or something. You're playing ADC, and it's like, okay, well, I also need Jar of Hearts, but I don't want to. I want to build, damage first before I build Jar of Hearts. Otherwise, Jar of Hearts is kind of like worthless. Uh, so being able to just invest in like the component, for a small amount, and it doesn't put your power curve too far behind,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice. So I'm, hopefully Fall adds that as well. I think that that's a really good um, part of League that I think that they're kind of looking at and adopting. So I do think that you guys are on the right track with that item.
I am
So
noticing that you bring that up. Like I'm noticing like the games I played before, and even with Paragon before, before they did the cards and after version 42, um, like other games that I played, like you don't necessarily just was it quick build or faster, or just automatically go right for one item. Like build that item, max it out. Like let's say crossbow, right? We playing dual lane GD crossbow. You just finish that item and then you go to the next item. I know there's other ones where you would like, okay, I'll get this component out of GD crossbow, and then I can get my tier 2 boots. That way I have my movement speed, and then I can work on this. I don't need to finish them out, and then later on, all right, I can finish this item, I can finish this item, I can finish this item. Like I'm noticing with Fault, it's like finish an item and then move on to the next, because you're not really getting the benefit of the tier 2 side of it or whatever.
Right. I would think the only scenario, at least speaking of like ADC, the only scenario where it's like okay to build like part of an item's like with lifesteal, like with D Blade or whatever. Um, Sometimes when you're like after you've got your boots and crossbow or whatever, sometimes just building that like I can't remember what it's called, but like the little red blade or
Yeah, it's
whatever that gives you the life.
1100 gold. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I don't know the
yeah.
name of it either.
Sometimes just building that and then only building that and then starting to build fire cannon and finishing fire cannon and
Okay.
then building D blade. Sometimes that's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, like right now, I mean, league most of the time with most champs, you'll build one item, one item, one item. But early game, a lot of times in league, you have a lot more kind of like options for early game items. You can build, they have kind of more items like T bow,
Yeah.
T book, that type of stuff. League also has like they have Doran's ring, which is our T book or whatever.
Okay.
But then they also have what's it called? Uh, it's a starter item that's like mages that basically makes your potions last longer, and then also gives you a little bit of magic power, but then has a passive on it that like when you get a kill or whatever or an assist, if you get an assist you get 1 stack, if you get a kill you get 2 stacks, up to 10 stacks, and each stack gives you extra um, magic damage or
Okay.
AP. And if you die you lose half your stacks, I think is what it is, or more.
Okay.
um, and then that actually builds into an item that kind of does the same thing. But they have that, and they have coal, which is like a starting item for ADCs. That's more if you're like, okay, if I just want to play a lane, like if I know I can't kill anybody in this lane, if we have like a weak lane, into the other duo lane, coal is like it gives you a little bit more HP back on minion kills, and once you get 100 CS, uh, the item pays you out 350 gold, I think is what it is.
Okay.
So you basically get like a free kill of gold, and every CS that you get, it gives you an extra gold or something like that. So there's a lot of like more kind of starting items, and then components that have actives and passes on them that you might just buy that component on early on. So in league early games, sometimes people build a lot more smaller items and then start building their bigger items off of them. But you still kind of have the same kind of flow where most of the time you are just building one item and then you go to the next and the next. But
Yeah, and I think that's how I remember it happening. It was like you, like in the beginning, you would kind of like get like a little baseline setup of like the items you're kind of wanting to build into, and then you just finish one at a like you sorry, I'm gonna finish this one, and then I finish this one, and then I finish this one, and but you had that like the kind of like that starting, you know, round out. Like okay, here we go. I got these items. I can go do laning phase and do, anything else, and then come back and start finishing the items up after I get so much money. So,
right,
but I don't feel that with Fault. I feel like it's just like you just push one item at a time and then go from there.
right.
So go ahead, Windu.
I was just gonna say, just to throw my little 2 cents on that one, it just really comes down to preference, and the main reason why people usually just stick to one item at a time is just to maximize their economy. Because you could split build, and let's say with 3,000 gold, you can get two halves. You can get half of one item and half of another. there might be a unique situation where you had to do that in order to survive. Good example, let's say you're going up against a Greystone, he's clapping you, you stop building power to build the physical armor.
Mm.
It makes sense. You get me? Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta adapt. But traditionally, it's just maximizing the economy because when you get to those 3,000 gold, for example, you want to make sure that you get your best bang for buck and you're as effective as possible for
Yeah.
that amount of gold.
Okay.
And that's what
Oh
it comes
no,
down to.
I agree with you. I mean, for sure, right now in Fault, it's better to just build one item completely, right? Like, but I think it's only like that right now because of how items are set up. Because we just don't have components, very many components that do um, that have like actives or passives. But like I know, whenever they add a component that's like anti-heal or something, like if I'm going against a Quang off lane and they have like an anti-heal component that's like 600, 700, 800 gold or whatever, you I think in that situation it might be worth just buying that component and then working on whatever item you want. That way you have the anti-heal so he can't just sit there and constantly lifesteal off the creep wave. If you're constantly harassing him, then he's only getting 40% lifesteal instead of 100%. So like things, once the item system changes, that might be a little bit more beneficial to maybe buy a component here or there that has passive or an active on it that you need. But right now, for sure, I agree with you, Windu. You just want to just finish up an item because all the powerful actives and passives are tied to a complete item. So you just want to get those as fast as possible. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Uh,
Now,
go ahead.
we know that whenever they add more items, it's going to, it's going to add more diversity. Hopefully, to add more early tier, mid tier items as well.
yeah.
My concern isn't whether they're going to add items. My concern is more of the order that they choose to add items. Because right now, we've seen a little trend. Anywhere from one to like three items are getting added, which is nice. We're getting a little bit added per update, per official update every 2 weeks. But like for example, here we're shown a vest, which implies some sort of armor.
Yep.
We're shown a gun, which implies some sort of damage. And then we're shown a vial with a syringe, which implies some sort of healing because it looks like a green potion in a way, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So my concern is like, are those the items that we need, or are they adding those two items simultaneously? Are those three items simultaneously on purpose? Because hear my thought out here. Imagine the red gun burns you and does damage over time when you have that equipped.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the vest is physical armor to help counter that item, and then the vial is a healing over time to help counter the gun.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
maybe
yeah.
they're adding maybe they might add like a little wombo of items to help kind of synergize or counter each other. That way they don't just throw a new item in
And
there
it's
and
not just
everybody's like, oh,
broken.
see, there's no counter.
Yep.
Right.
No, yeah, I think
Uh,
you have to do that, and I think that's why you see the attack, and maybe if it's not even just a counter, it's just another avenue that somebody can build, right? So we're giving you a different avenue as an ADC to build with this attack gun, right? Whatever it does, and I could definitely see like an incendiary round, damage over time because the flames, like you're caught on fire, and I would love to see the animation to show that DOT, that'll fire DOT, like, oh man, I'm on fire. Help me, Tom Cruise. So that would be cool. I would like to see that if that's what that is. So I could definitely see that being a thing. But like the chest plate, the vest, I don't know if that necessarily has to be the exact counter, but it gives you another avenue to build as a tank. Like, okay, I'm gonna build this way. Maybe somewhere statistically it's the counter, but it's not one to help you because of incendiary rounds or whatever that is catching you on fire. But I could see this going back to what Sock was saying and the anti-heal. I could see this being an anti-heal chest plate. You know, like as you're hitting, like you go up, you're a Grux in solo lane going against a Quang, and Quang's hitting you. You got this armor on. Now all of a sudden, his lifesteal, his natural lifesteal in his kit, just isn't doing as well. So this is your counter to the OP Quang sometimes. No, not he's not saying he's OP now because he did nerf him, but like this will be your counter to Quang in lane. This will be your counter. I mean, go ahead.
The other thing too, sorry, is what were you gonna say, Windu?
Oh no, you're good, right? I was just gonna say maybe that poison, like you guys are saying, is like an anti-heal effect, and now you're poisoned, you can't heal. Or could you imagine if you attack somebody with that plate, and now you're poisoned, and imagine you just start losing health because you're hitting them, and you're chunking your own health away or melting your own health away slowly, like damage over time.
Well, it definitely, at least the art on it looks pretty. You know, it's got like chest plate. It's got teeth around like the collar, and it's like skulls, and it's got acid on the shoulder pads. So it definitely looks pretty kind of like caustic or.
Yeah.
Yeah, like deteriorating sort of.
So if it is going to be one that, let's say, it affects the wearer, right? What are going to be the benefits though? Because obviously that does that right now. What you just said, I'm like, why would I even put it on? Like, why? What would be? Where's my benefit? So what would we say would be the benefit if that is what's going to be? Like, are you going to get like some huge power push or something? Or
Well, no, I think it's just going to be a traditional armor item, maybe with even reduced stats. But when I say like it damages somebody, maybe it doesn't. I'm not necessarily it damages a wearer, but anybody that attacks you is now taking damage over time, like very
yeah,
very
okay,
small amount. That's like
yeah.
Mortgage bug type of small. You
Yeah.
get me?
No, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, very little ticks, but just enough that was like that makes them think twice about like maybe I shouldn't attack this person. You know,
Exactly. Like
let's go for somebody else. And
that guy might not be a smart idea.
yep, definitely, I like it. And the art, the art of all of these, great job. I like them both, all of them. That little flame come out of the guns, that's nice. I like the the word I'm looking for, the transparency of the liquid in the vial. You can see through it to the other side a little bit and see the ring going around. And this vest, that the skull going into skulls, with the teeth and the up by the belly button and stuff out. Like, I think that's pretty badass looking.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite one. I think that looks pretty cool for
Yep.
sure. So the other thing to keep in mind too is what
You know what I
items
wish? I do wish they would add a little bit more color.
more color to it.
Yeah, because think of it like this: like if they make a whole bunch of stone plates, right, for different armors,
Yeah.
and then they all end up being some variation of gray or green because they're associated with a green armor. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like why not make it like it's a bone? It doesn't have to be like silver metallic-y color. It should could be like just straight white. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like for more contrast, or if they go with another theme, let's say they decide to add another stone plate, we should make that shit like a gold plate or something like that. Just I want to see more color variation, and specifically on the red carry side, because from the red items, we've actually seen the items themselves be red or just neutral gray and black with red backgrounds.
Yep.
Right.
You get me? Just because it's on the red tree doesn't mean like this one I like because it has a little bit more yellow coming out. You get
Right.
me?
Yep.
Mm,
Nice little contrast. But it doesn't mean that because it's in the red tree, you can't have a gun with like, specific unique colors that might actually go well with red, whether it be blue, whether it be yellow, etc. You got me green,
Yeah.
deep green even.
Yep.
And that would be a great idea to actually show those hybrid items. And it's like, hey, this is a red item, but it gives you a little bit of physical armor also. That's why the background is red, but that's a green gun.
right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It'd be a nice way for them to play into the different categories.
And mind you, though, and I'm not saying you forgot, but mind you, and anybody listening is really what I'm saying with this is these are just placeholders. They want to do like a 3D art eventually or whatever. Like these are just placeholders for this moment. We get
Right.
from there, but yeah, no, maybe they can add more colors then and go from there. But I see what you're saying. It definitely makes sense.
Well, I think the other thing too is to just keep in mind, like so far they've added what primarily items for tanks. They did one for a mage for mages, and then they did a few for
The
purple,
jungle.
I believe. They haven't really added any support items.
Nope.
They added what they add last patch was like the green boots, and can't remember what else came with that.
Keep
But
talking. I'll look
I
it up.
think the ADC is really, this is the first kind of item that they've had added in a while. This whatever this gun is. So
Yeah, for carries, all they've done for a good while is just adjust items, not
right.
necessarily add for the duo in general. Oh, the last thing that they added for the duo was the starter items.
Well, no, they did add that last patch. I'm sorry, they did add that one ADC item, the cloak or whatever that
Yeah,
gives
yeah,
you
that cloak is great.
shield. Yeah,
I
it
like
gives you
that
the
cloak.
attack speed, crit, movement speed, and then it gives you the shield when you get below 30%, then the life steal. Um, so but I don't think they've added really anything else to red besides that. I think so. I think as long as they're kind of, you know, looking at what each kind of class is lacking item wise, what they need, and they're adding those slowly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
As long as they're kind of doing that evenly between the different archetypes of characters, I think they're, you know, however they want to add the items is fine with me. You know, as long as they're addressing a weakness that each archetype of character has based off their items or whatever. Obviously, you know, kits play into a huge factor in that, and items coincide with kits. And they'll have to address that, you know, whenever they find some or they come across some sort of combination with characters it's like kind of broke. But um, for the most part, right now, you know, as long as they're addressing like the basic kind of like issues, like oh, okay, well, let's say you know mages right now are just having a really hard time against tanks and they just can't do enough damage against tanks. It's like okay, well, maybe we add another item that's sort of like Eldritch Flame that is doing like percentage based HP, like max HP damage or something like that. As long as they address like issues that classes have, then I'm fine with it. I would like to see, a lot of there's no tank item right now that has any sort of mana on it, and there's some tanks that burn up a lot of mana pretty quickly. So I would like to see a tank item that has some mana on it as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh yeah.
How do you guys feel about this teacher program thing?
Ironically, I didn't bring it up to anybody. So somebody came in to discuss some Tuesdays and said, "Hey, I think we should, you should talk to him about doing a teacher program." So this person, I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry. I believe they were reaching out to multiple people because now all of a sudden this teacher program comes up. I'm literally was just talking to somebody about this. I was gonna bring it up to Ryan. I just didn't have time, and here it is. I'm like, okay. I like it. I like it. It's I don't think it's. I mean, to not make it sound negative, but for lack of better term, it's kind of a band-aid right now for the new people to help understand the game or whatever. It's a great spot from UK. Reach out and come learn the game. You could for a good low only $14.99 you can learn from Sockcap. Um,
I
it's
wouldn't
just
charge.
I'm
I'm
kidding.
not. I'm
I'm
not worth
kidding.
any money anyway. I appreciate it though.
Take my money.
So
Now,
I
you know
think.
what?
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, guys. Talk. I want to hear what you have to say about this before I
I
go.
think. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I know it's beneficial for the new people too, like you said, Cooch. But there's a lot of people who've been playing for a while that probably also would benefit from it too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think all around it's really good. The and that not not trying to sound like mean or anything, but the player base for Fault and Paragon, just in general, it was even worse than Pred. I'm gonna be honest. Like, Pred had a lot more people playing it. When I played last alpha, I felt like a god every game. I was just popping like 20 kills, just run around ADC just killing people. That was like my experience, like 99% of the time, every game. Obviously they didn't have matchmaking, so it might be different when that gets added. But, Fault, not so much the same thing in that scenario, but there's just a lot of people that are just very, when it comes to MOBAs, inexperienced. Because and myself included, right? Like I don't think that I'm necessarily a bad player, but I also know that I'm not a good player, right? And I've reached out, like I reached out to Ray a while back ago, and even somebody like me, I reached out to him, and he did VOD reviews on some of my videos and on my matches, and was like, "Okay, your dog shit at this, this, and this. You did okay
It's
in
one of
this,
the best
this,
ways
and
to get
this."
better.
Yeah, yeah, and so I think it's important if you're interested in improving at every level. It's always important to seek out any sort of help that you can get on improvement.
On that
Um,
topic, real quick before I forget, VOD reviews. I'm somebody as a streamer. VOD reviews are good for streaming, like just to understand what you're doing as a streamer to help fix your streams. I don't. If I go back and watch myself, I get bored, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. I literally had like, okay, like even so, if I'm going, but let's just stick with Fault. I'm going back to watch my gameplay as Murdock. I don't know. I know what I'm doing, but I don't know, like, okay, what did I do wrong there? I can't see that. I think it's the other person's eye or somebody to let me know, hey, look for things like this, because that's something I don't know, because I can't just go watch my own VOD. I'm like,
right,
I don't know what I'm looking for, you
Yeah,
know?
that's a major thing. Like game sense is one of the hardest things to teach to somebody.
mm,
So when you do have somebody that just shows you tips and tricks, like even as something as simple as, hey, every time you grab Prime, traditionally, if you grab an objective like that, try to prioritize the furthest lane away to take that inhib. Because once that inhib is down, they have to have one person occupied on the furthest position possible from Prime always. That means best case scenario, it's always going to be a 4v5 on Prime, or if it's a 5v5, you have super minions pushing in at the furthest way possible to defend. If you get me,
right.
I
just
never would
little
have thought
tips and
about that.
tricks like that. Just little tips and tricks like that that people could always pass on. I think this Discord teacher program, try it out. Let's see what it's like. It could be good. I could definitely see some trolls doing some harm through it, unfortunately.
Right.
But I think the biggest flaw in this program is going to be that okay, you have somebody that's teaching you, and now you're going to send them into a public match to teach and learn. You get me? Like, and I know from personal experience, if I'm playing, I'm gonna do my best to try and teach whoever's with me, but I'm also kind of focused on my own game, unless we do screen share, and that
Right.
way we can screen share. I can coach. It's efficient, but the only issue is still your. It's still in a public match where someone's learning. They might not be comfortable. They might not even be focused on their game 100%. They might be focused on what you're saying. I really think.
Lost him.
Yep.
Um,
Sorry,
oh,
sorry. I
you're good.
really do think that before they implement a program like this, they really should have some sort of system where you can go into a map at least 1v1.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
That would be good. But until they do have that, I do know that they could probably work with some of the FHN guys. I do know that Agorian and a few others were doing some learning games on Saturdays. But maybe now that they've reached out, they're making this Discord teacher program. If you apply to be a teacher, you'll have more teachers than it's just being the FHN guys trying to reach out. Because I know like Kick was being one of the teachers. Like Kick was actually supposed to be my mentor for mid lane, because I applied for it because I crash at mid lane, so I want to learn that. So me and Kick actually went because it didn't work out schedule wise. So me and him found our own schedule, and he helped me out. Great guy, thank you, appreciate it. But if they work with that and they kind of get something like that, you could do customs, because of like, so Sock being the teacher, me being the student, we can go into customs. Windu, you're the teacher and you're working with Menace as on the other one. We can go into customs together, and you are going to be going against us, and you're just going to see how we're playing it, and then we're all on comms and we can work together. And you're like, hey, this is what you did here, this is what you did there, and it's just understanding how to do things. uh, Almost playing like you're just being the bot at that point as the teacher. You're not going sweaty on us, and then you just up the ante and you get a little harder, a little harder. You could do something like that. That way, you're not doing it in pub match. And then once you get better in customs, then you can take it to pub matches and put it against the actual people and see how you do from there.
Yeah, I don't know how hard it would be to add. Obviously, they already have like the custom matches where you can type in a password or whatever. I
Yep.
don't know how hard it would be to add the functionality of being able to dictate
How
where the
many?
game or put in how many people you want. I don't think that'd be too terribly difficult, and that's something that I could bring up. Uh,
I do know
to
they
them.
have the ability to do that on the tester server, but I do
Too.
know
Okay.
that on the tester server, it's like one game at a time. So as soon as one person goes in, we got to wait until they're like fully in the game, and then you can change the server settings. So that would be
Right.
the hard part about doing that, having it set up on, the public servers.
Yep.
So that's why I would have, like, I don't know how that works, like you said, but like it's so they have the capability because we've seen it on the tester server, but how to do that on the public servers, that's going to be the hard part, and where they would have to understand how that works.
Yeah.
But that would
Yeah.
be
I don't know.
great if you could do the 1v1s.
But I think if they're able to do, I think what would be beneficial is like a general overview that's maybe more in depth, more so than the tutorial that
Yep.
when you load up Fault, having something that's more like role specific, something that goes over the items, because it's when you're coming into the game and you're like reading the item and you're like, okay, well, this item has like a wall of text, and I saw somebody the other day in my game that was playing Boris offlane, and they built the jungle item, and they robbed their jungler of farm, thinking that it would get them ahead, right? Because they were just like shoving their lane, pushing it, and then going into the jungle and
Okay.
taking CS. So they had the jungle item doing that, and it just completely destroys your income gold wise from your lane anyway, because
Okay.
the same thing with the support items. If you build a support item and you start taking all the CS, you get 60 to 80% reduced gold from
Yep.
lane creeps after a certain
15
threshold.
after hit
Yeah,
if you're averaging more than
yeah.
15.
So
Yeah.
so it's not good,
No.
and I still see people do that, and I'm like, what are you doing? That guy he had I was the enemy jungler. That guy had like 50 more CS than me at one point, and I had 3 items in boots, and he had an item in boots. That was it. It's
Yep.
like, okay, well, your CS number is really high, but you don't have
You
any
ain't,
gold.
you ain't doing
So
anything with it. So that person was that person new? Is that what you were saying? The person that's playing Boris
no,
solo? No, okay, all
mm-mm,
right. Because that's where I was gonna go with that is because the recommended build for Boris is jungle builds, and that's so you would automatically just if you're not knowing what you're doing, you're gonna pick that jungle item, and you're going
right.
solo lane. You don't need that jungle item, so that's a little thing that's there. On that same note, help me out with this, guys. You may know the answer, and maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm mistaking what's going on here. Why is it recommended on Narbash to get Bangle and not Scrystone?
It before his E got changed, because really the E changing is why this is now Bangle instead of Scrystone. So before you could toggle your E and off like every 3 seconds,
Right.
right? So that's fine. You can toggle your E and off, your E on and off every time. Oh, we lost Windu. Every time your ADC autoed and was in combat, you could just pop your E on, pop it off, and you proc Scrystone, and you get gold that way.
Right.
Now your heal is on like a 12-second cooldown.
Yep.
So not only is it less efficient to try to proc Scrystone over and over again like that, you're actually just not going to be able to keep up with Scrystone's procs, if I remember correctly, because it's every 12 or every 30 seconds you get a Scrystone proc. But if you pop your E on and off to get a Scrystone proc, and all of a sudden you get ganked, it's like, okay, well,
12 seconds so
now
you can actually get a
I
heal.
can't turn my heal on. You know what I mean? Whereas before, it's like it's not so much of a risk. I mean, that could still happen,
Right.
but you're gonna get your heal back in a few seconds, so you could still probably turn it on. You know,
Okay.
more often than not, it's gonna be on. And Bangle also just got buffed, so it's instead of every 45 seconds, it's every 40 seconds you get a stack, and the heal is way better now. The heal is actually like 5 times better. Before it was healing like 10 HP or something every time you executed a minion. Now it's like 50 HP.
Gotcha.
Um, so
I
it's just, and it gives you tank stats too, which is kind of what you want on Narbash anyway. So,
right.
um,
So I didn't realize the change. And I mean, I knew the changes to Narbash, you know, I knew that, but like I just remember the build for Narbash was Scrystone and Mana Pot. You know, you got the Mana
mm,
Pot, you got Scrystone, you go down to the lane and you know, then you work from there. So I'm going down there, I'm like, all right, it's like sitting there, I'm like, and I did my, you know, I procced my E, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, I realized like, why am I not getting like I'm not like I knew the 12 seconds, I understand I wasn't gonna get as much there, so it was later in game that I'm like sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. I got Bangle. And I'm like, no, that's what they recommend. Why'd they recommend Bangle to me? I'm like, I didn't. I'm like, oh, I'm like, why is this a thing? You know, I'm like, I was like that. You could go back and watch the VOD and you hear me complain about it. But you know, like I said, I knew about all that, but I didn't know. I didn't do the math, you know, and figure out how much gold you get Scrystone if you use, you know, Narbash now, and how much gold if you get if you use Bangle, you know, with Narbash now. So I was like, what is the reason for the recommendation change?
yeah,
Okay.
they kind of had to make that change because Narbash's economy was just nuts. Like he was a money printing machine
Oh
with
yeah,
his E, you know?
right.
Yeah, so it's just he was just outpacing all the other supports on economy. You still get more gold with Scrystone on supports that can use it, like Muriel and Decker, if you're like actively procking uh Scrystone, but I mean Bangle is you know, it's pretty much evened out now that Bangle's been buffed.
Okay.
I don't I still like advocate, and I wish that SMS would do this, where I kind of like every other starting item has like a quest and it evolves, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, the support
Supports,
ones you have to buy it. You have
you
to
have to
purchase them.
buy them, yeah, and I don't like that. I wish that
Well,
they would,
especially because support's like the hardest thing to get gold with.
right? And I mean, I once again, I hate to say, the league does a good job with their support items for like you have a certain quest to fulfill with these support items. When you do it, they upgrade, and then you no longer, on a lot of them when they upgrade, you no longer have like an active thing that you have to do to get gold. It just bumps up your passive gold income to kind of, you know, make it how it was when you were actively doing these things
Right.
to get gold, and then it just gives you like a bunch of wards on the item or whatever, and good stats when you know you get decent stats when it evolves. So
Okay.
I wish that they would do it like that, because it kind of sucks where you're like, oh, I need these, I need BOTD, you know,
You need
maybe
boots.
yeah, I need these items to be an efficient support, and but if you
Also want to finish this item.
right, if you're buying Bangle, you have to upgrade that item first. If you're not upgrading Bangle first, then you're just griefing yourself. With
Gotcha.
Scrystone, you don't have to do that, and I find that weird. Like Scrystone, the basic level Scrystone is
That's
30 seconds to stack.
okay.
30 seconds to stack. You upgrade it, it's 30 seconds to stack.
There's no
With
benefit.
Bangle, yeah, with Bangle, it's 40 seconds to stack, you know, to the stacks that you get gold from. When you upgrade it, it's 30 seconds.
Okay.
So you're increasing your economy by 25% when you upgrade it.
No,
So the
definitely.
earlier you do that, the better off you are, the more gold you're going to make for throughout the match. So I just wish that
Okay.
they would. I don't know. I don't understand why Bangle's that way and Skystone's not. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So in this little teacher program, though, they kind of give a little hint of, and it could be wrong. I could be reading into it a little. They might do 2 announcements, but it says the program will be implemented this upcoming Tuesday afternoon with full info on how the program will work and how to apply as a teacher. So they're gonna make an announcement on Tuesday with this information about being the teacher program. Are they gonna put that inside of the patch? Is that when the patch notes, not the patch, the patch notes are gonna drop on Tuesday? Is that what maybe we're hearing here or seeing?
Maybe, I don't know. It's I know it's not. It's through
I
Discord.
don't know,
So
maybe.
yeah, it's through Discord. It's not. It's not through the game right now.
No,
Because
definitely not. I'm just saying, like, because as far as I know, Ryan Red's the one that puts all this stuff together. These patches, these updates, the blogs, all that stuff. He puts it together. So he types it up. So I'm just wondering, is he going to type up a thing for Discord teacher program and post that on Tuesday afternoon when the program goes live? And then Wednesday post the patch notes and then Thursday patch goes live? Or is it going to be, hey, Tuesday's patch notes along with teacher program information and how to apply and a link to apply, and then also patch notes with on top of that?
Yeah, I would hope that they would add a little section that maybe has a link to a more thorough explanation of what the program is in the patch notes. I think that would probably
Yeah,
be the best.
yep. And I think they should have that. I mean, it says apply, so I'm assuming. I mean, we all applied for partner. Or maybe you guys didn't apply because you guys were earlier, but they had that partner program, so I applied for it, and it was a
Oh,
link and you filled it out, and
I had to beg.
you
I
had to beg.
Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Please, I promise I won't be a toxic asshole, Ryan.
Yeah.
He was sweating when he hit that button. Like, do I make him a partner or not?
And he's
So
still sweating.
yeah.
So but yeah, so that's just maybe little Easter egg there. Maybe tell us when we're gonna get the patch update. Master rewards. Little Muriel skin. Doc, I know you play Muriel often. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, I love all these skins, man. I pretty much every character that they've shown the little teasers on, like I'm be honest, the just the color schemes, the kind of the black and the silver, and then the black and the gold, the black and the kind of like the frosty
The diamond,
diamond.
yep.
Yeah, and then the mastery skin being this white, red, and black color scheme. I I mean I like the stage 4 mastery skins on these that they've shown
Yeah.
better than the mastery skins in Paragon. Like
Ooh.
the kind of black and
Yeah,
orange skins
the
that look like they're
lava, magma,
yeah,
yep.
right. I don't really care for those too much. I really like these color
Okay.
schemes. They look really good on a lot of characters. The other thing too is that you can't really tell by these pictures, but the stage 1 and 2 are just like the colorations. The stage 3 and 4, the diamonds kind of bluish, and then the red, the glowy red, like those also have visual effects on them. So
Stage 4
they're kind
does
of
have visual effects.
yeah, stage 4 and
Okay.
3 both do.
I knew
So
4 does. I didn't know the diamond one did. I didn't know stage 3 did. Okay.
yeah, so they
All right.
have
Nice.
kind of like moving, um, kind of
Me and Windu talked about that 2 episodes ago. We talked about how it maybe had like a little glow effect. How the light hits.
it does. So
Okay.
and like I said, they it I think maybe it's an ode to the old mastery skins in Paragon with the stage 4 with like the kind of red, almost like lava magma on these skins. Not quite like magma, but
Okay.
it does kind of have like a almost look like a flowing like red liquid throughout all that. And it's the same thing with the diamond one. It's kind of got like a moving visual effect where it's not just some static color. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
it's a pattern that kind of like moves through the character. So it looks good. I like them a lot. So I'll be. I think it's really good for like player retention.
Definitely.
And that's one of the big things that they struggle with right now. Um, so I think they're addressing it with what we just talked about, the like Discord teacher program, adding anything that can like it feels bad when you just load up the game and you get matched up against some guy that's got like 200 games in the fucking thing and it's like, "Oh, okay. Well, this guy just destroyed me," And it's like
Yeah.
maybe next game will be better and you go next game and it's the same thing and you get flamed by your teammates. It really
Yep.
takes somebody to be like truly hooked on the game for them to like stick with it.
Yep.
Otherwise people won't get to that point where they get to a level of uh, competence where they're like, okay, this I know what I'm doing, and now like this game is a lot more enjoyable because I'm able to like outplay people and I understand how to play the game. So that and then adding something to grind for,
Yeah.
uh, should really help player retention. So we just need those two things, and then the map, and I think the game will be like in a really really good spot.
Yep.
So
Windu, what are your thoughts on Muriel here?
I put him to sleep.
We also know he's in a hotel right now, so he's got some bad internet. That's why you also saw him drop and come back. So while we're waiting for him to get his mic set up, hopefully he can hear us and he's getting that figured out. You brought up the color correlation, right? The white, black, and red. With the stage 4. I'm gonna pull it back up here. I want to show the Decker skin they pulled out. Not Decker, Bellica, I mean, sorry. Um, on okay. So, I don't know if you were able to go back to it or not, but if we go back to the Bellica skin,
Mhm.
there's no black with her at all. It's literally
Right.
all red and white. And I like the black. I mean, Windu brought it up on multiple episodes that the black kind of gives you that contrast. It makes the white and the red pop even more.
Mhm.
And with her, it doesn't have that. And
Yeah.
the reason, and I brought up with on this the last episode with Russ and Menace, you see on her pant legs, she's got these gray straps, right? Those gray straps on stage 4 could easily been turned black and kept that black, white, and red flow.
Oh yeah.
So then you're just like, okay, but they haven't done that really anywhere else, have they? Well, now we go back to Muriel. All right, look at Muriel right on her hip. Her hip and her stomach is that gray. They made it black on her on stage 4. Her wings, her collarbone for her wings, those are gray on stage 1, 2, 3. On stage 4, they're black. So you easily can do that change, and I feel they need to do that change in certain areas. Like Bellica, especially. Kind of give that black, make things contrast a little more. So I'm hoping they go back and change that stuff a little bit. But when it comes to Muriel, I love Muriel. She's got enough black in there to make it stand out. She's got enough red in there to not make it look just like a washed out white, and it looks great. And it doesn't for her. She was one of the ones we talked about. Muriel being, she already has like her main skin is a white skin anyways. So how are you gonna make this not look just like add a little red to her main skin? It almost looks just like a recolor of her main skin. So they did a great job, adding that red line on top with a white dot, the black ring around that, everything they added to it. Just really good job in my opinion. I like it. Windu, you back? Are you able to talk now or no? But yeah, I'm really, really loving these mastery skins as well. Another thing I like about the mastery skins is the people who have been playing the game, you and me and everybody else that's been here since the early access opened up. It's going to take all of that into consideration, and it's going to work. So if you've been grinding one character this whole time, you're good to go. Like that, you're probably going to have that.
Prorated.
Yeah, yep, a little prorated. Yep, it's like, all right, you've been doing this. Here you go. We'll help you out. you know.
Yep.
Oh,
For sure. Yeah. No, it would suck to be playing for so long and this get thrown in and be like, yeah, you got to start from scratch. It's like, man, I already played like 5,000 games
yeah,
of this character. I don't want to play him
yep,
anymore, but now I need this skin. So,
yep, yep. No, for sure. I mean, I guess it would and it wouldn't suck because it gives you something to do, right? So let's say, for whatever reason, let's just say the numbers to grind wasn't very long, you know. So somebody who's been playing and they played all 21 characters, and it wasn't that long. They played them all long enough. So all of a sudden, bam, you have all the mastery skins. As soon as this mastery program gets set out there, it's all right, pushed out in the next patch. I'm not saying it's gonna be this next patch. Don't mistake my words now. So, but like it's pushed out in that next patch, whatever day that it's set, and all of a sudden now you have all the mastery skins. All right, you get like a week or two, you get to play and you get to show off all the mastery skins right away at whatever character you want to play as. But after that, what do you have for retention? You already got everything,
right.
So that's where it's like I'd almost like the proration. I like it because it does. It's like here you go, thank you for helping us out this much, for this long. We appreciate you being here. This is kind of like our gift to you. But then it also kind of like takes away that grinding effect.
Well, I'll just let you know that they have it set to where it will be a grind, but it's
Good.
not going to be like too crazy.
All right.
But I don't think there's going to be anybody that uh, has I'm sure there'll probably be some people that have played a lot that when it comes out, they have enough games to have a few mastery skins on the champs that they really like.
Right.
But I don't think anybody's going to have the mastery
No.
skins for all the champs.
No, definitely. That was definitely a highly, questionable, but just an example, something
Right.
obviously they're not going to have it be that short of a thing, but that's an idea of something that would suck. You have that, and then you have, words, totally had it. Oh, we talked about it with Russ. It. I remember us. We talking in the partner chat. We were like, "Hey, we understand that as partners, we get the skins to kind of help promote, the game or whatever. We're like, this is a grind we want to do. Like,
Right.
don't give us these skins. Let us do the grind.
Right.
This is something we want to work for. Like, we get it. We understand that you want us to show stuff off, but let us play for this one.
Oh yeah, I
So,
agree.
but yeah, so I love that they agreed to that and they're okay with us doing that. Back to this Muriel skin though. I don't play her enough because she's actually like my least favorite support, just because I'm straight ass with her. So I'll have to pay that $14.99 a month and subscribe to my sock app and get some training here. But what is this little? Is that like a shoe guard thing that she's got hanging up there? Like what is that? Like
I don't know. I think that's just part of her model. I think when her feet go up like that, that is just kind of like it comes off. It's not like attached to her boot or whatever.
okay, it's almost like a catcher's shin guards. Like you have the catch and they go down on their feet too. Like so it's almost like it just kind of hangs there. Very interesting. So
Yeah.
all right, so all right, from Windu, so hotel internet sucks. Let everyone know Muriel looks cool, well balanced, and no little mustache curls. So I'm happy. All right, so we all on Narbash it makes sense, right? It has those mustache curls, right? And it was on Steel. I think we went back. There was like a couple mustache curls on the shoulder pads or whatever that didn't make sense for him, or oh, it was on here the chest plate. Got like the little mustache curls. So they put them on certain characters, and it just like it doesn't look right. So yeah, so Windu's happy there's no mustache curls. And he says,
Boris had them too.
I think you're right, Boris. Yeah, Boris has them as well. I think the people that get mastery skins are not the target demographic for retention. Those can clearly keep themselves playing. Yeah, retention is for new people. No, definitely, I agree with that as well, Windu. I think it's just something. Maybe I think it's something for the casual vault player. something to keep them coming back. Like
Yeah.
you have your dailies and your weeklies, your goals to complete playing the game. So people do that. Like, all right, I come with my daily. Come in, let me log on, get my daily going. But so now it's like, oh man, all right, let me log out, let me get a game in just so I can get a Mario game in, so I can work on getting that that stage 4. Work towards that. Just something to kind of keep them coming back just for a little bit.
For sure.
And then he
But I
says,
think,
"Oh, go ahead."
well, I was just gonna say to that end, like I remember playing Paragon, people all the time would be like, especially in the draft screen, they'd be like, "Yo, let me play Murdock. I'm a level 10 mastery Murdock." People used to throw that
Yes,
around all the
yes,
time. Like
yes,
it's no, as much as it may be slightly an indication of how competent that person is, that character, but like at the end of the day, it's mastery is like different than like rank or whatever. So like I'd hear that all the time and be like, "Oh, go ahead." And this guy would pick Murdoch and go like 0 and 12, and it's like,
yep,
"Oh, okay, well."
yeah,
So like, but I used to hear it, and like anytime I smurfed or whatever, I heard that stuff like all the time. Like, don't pick Murdoch. Don't pick my Murdoch. I'm a level 10 Murdoch.
yeah, yeah,
Master or
yeah.
whatever. And it's like, okay, buddy, you go ahead. So
So just because you put the time in and you were ass for the time that you put in, doesn't make you a master in a sense,
right,
right? It gives you the
so
mastery skin because you put the time in, but that doesn't mean you're good at the person you played. Like,
right.
yeah,
It's the old saying is that perfect practice makes perfect. That's
yep,
very much
yep.
what it's getting
Uh,
to.
and then Windu says, if I unlock Murdoch skin mastery because I play it a ton, it's a reward. At that point, retention is showing off the skin. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yep, that's exactly what that's going to be. And I'm okay with that though, because that little flair, like, hey, look at me, that little flex you get to do, like, yep,
Mm-hmm.
I've been grinding, buddy. Let's go, you know. And then when I go 0 and 12, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to grind more. And I tuck my tail between my legs and I go hide in base. So, but it is what it is. So, but that's it for the updates. Do you guys have anything else that you want to talk about? Windu, I'll be your what is that? Not narrator. What is that? Signing person. I'll translator. I'll be
I'll
your
be.
translator, Windu. Just
I'll
keep
let you
typing
do
up.
that. I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Hmm. All right. So Windu is typing, everybody. So I'll do the translations here. But let us know in chat and in the comments below. Not in chat. We're not streaming. Let us know in comments below what you guys think about all of the everything that we talked about. Let us know what you think the aspects, not aspects. My gosh, items. The items are. Let us know what you think the items are. And what you think they might be, like their little actives or where they might mostly be used at. Um, and let us know what you think about the art. I really like the art. And then also let us know again, mastery rewards, man. They're here for every update we get. What do we got? Okay. What do y'all think needs to be changed before these mastery skins are implemented? Changed as in how, Windu? What do y'all think needs to be changed?
All right, I'm back.
So Windu asked, what do you all think needs to be changed before the mastery skins are implemented?
Mm, what needs to be changed?
Yeah.
I just think they need to get that system in place where they had one
So
blog post. I can't remember which one it was where
it
they
showed you the banner that you get and stuff like that.
right they
Yeah.
showed it off.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
if
we
get
talked
that
about
in
that.
place, and once they get that in place, then I think the only thing that they so
Got it on screen right now. It shows you your matter, and your XP, your hero marks that you get, um, mastery. It shows you the mastery level up for what you got going on there.
what what I would assume is that the main menu probably is going to get reworked at some point as well,
Yep.
because it doesn't really have any tab or anything like that for the mastery system. So I imagine they'll whenever they do that, probably those two things will come at the same time. They'll have a rework of the main menu, and then we'll probably get the mastery system on top of that as well.
And maybe not a
Probably.
complete rework, maybe just an update of the main menu,
Mhm.
to implement the mastery system. Yeah, because you're definitely going to need a tab to go into it.
Right.
Not only to see your progress, but to also see, because not everybody's going to go through and find every blog post to look at the different individual skins. So they're gonna, that's gonna be something like, all right, mastery skin, like, all right, so what am I gonna get? And I wanted to bring it up last episode, but I forgot with Russ. Another way that I think would be good, another thing to add for mastery system is mastery, to kind of show off your master, because maybe you don't want to. Maybe you have like for me, the Murdock Punisher skin. It's got the Punisher skull on the front. That's like my favorite Murdock skin. The one, it's black and it's blue. If you don't know, I like blue.
Yeah.
But so I love that skin, right? I'm gonna rock the mastery skin as well. But there's certain times though, if I'm not rocking the mastery skin, what am I gonna have that's gonna show, hey, I'm a master at this person, at this character. One way that Russ brought up was Paragon had the crown. You had the crown that was kind of floating above your head.
Mhm.
We don't expect Fault to kind of go around that same thing, but one thing they can do, and I think that that Paragon had, was the no, I can't think what they're called. The
Borders.
Not the borders. When you killed somebody, the little flag that pulled up.
Oh, the little
Yeah.
Here's-
Hey, wait, banner. There we go. We heard him. Welcome back.
for a
Oh,
brief
Bob.
second.
So bad on this internet, man.
Yes, the banners. I think a mastery banner would be great. A little way, because if I want to wear the Punisher skin Murdock and I kill somebody, a little mastery banner, like, pff, oh shit, I just got killed. He's a master. No wonder he fucking owned me. Not me. It would be somebody else doing that. But that way it would be show. I'm just using me as an example.
Come on, Cooch, you own people. Don't lie.
Don't make me sound like a
Don't
slave
lie.
owner here. Come on, I don't own anybody.
Whoa, whoa. I'm just saying. You put some people in their place from time to time. Everyone
Oh,
does.
yeah, I'm a dad. I got to do what I got to do.
Maybe that's the secret. Just treat everybody like this enemy Murdoch. It's his bedtime, and he won't go to bed. So I gotta figure out a way to put him down.
Mama said, "Knock you out." So I'm gonna knock you out. Yeah, but I think that'd be another way to do it. What are your guys' thoughts? Like, what are something they could do to kind of let you still show off a mastery skin, even though you're not using that mastery skin, or that you mastered that character, not like a skin per se?
I think just a border in the loading screen. You could do that.
Well, yeah, no, that's gonna be there. I mean, they showing that. That's what I think. That's what they're showing here on this experience is that you have to have that board. That's gonna be your loading screen or your going into game screen. I'm just thinking like something like, because what if you and me, we both drinks, so we get up and go get a drink during that loading, right? So we go get a drink, we come back. All right, all right, I'm picking my aspects. I didn't see who we're playing against. I don't know who we're going up against. I don't know what's going on. I don't know mastery skins. Something to show off in game. They're like, okay, when I get in lane, I'm like, okay, I'm going against a mastery steel right now. I need to maybe test the waters.
Right. Maybe when you hit tab or something too. If you hit tab to like look at the items or whatever, the
Okay.
little portrait,
Yeah.
you could
The
have
little
like
scoreboard.
a silver glow around them or a gold, and then
Okay.
a
Yeah.
diamond, and then like the reddish for master. You could do something like that. Might
Yeah.
be good.
No, that's a good idea too. Little, pull up the scoreboard, be able to see what you got going on.
Mhm.
Windu, are you still here, able to talk?
I'm here. I'm here.
All
What
right.
did you guys think about the mastery crowns back in the day?
I wasn't a big fan of the crowns, but I don't know. That's just me. I don't like the too many add-ons on characters. Just because it gets to me, it starts to look like kind of tacky. I don't know. So
I didn't mind them. I thought they were a little different. I liked how you could turn it on or off. That was something I liked about it with Paragon. You know, if you wanted to show off the crown, you could show off the crown. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So, you know, if you wanted your head to be light, take the crown off. So I we talked about that last
Those
week.
skins that were super dope with and were like,
yeah, there definitely was some skins that looked really cool.
Yeah.
With the crown, but I think there's different kinds of crowns too, depending on like what I don't know if it's like character type or where they were from in the lore. Because I know like Rampage and Narbash had like the horns,
Yeah.
and then like somebody like Revenant had like the actual crown thing. Um, and I think there was one more, wasn't there? I thought that there was, but maybe. Yeah, there was one that was like a futuristic, like it had
Yeah.
like the wings.
Yep.
I know Richter had that one. Made him look like a Power Ranger when you had the green skin. So yeah, there's definitely cool combos for sure, but I don't mind those things as long as like I can visually turn them off, so I
Yeah.
don't have to see them if I don't want to, you know.
Yep.
So
I agree. I think a banner system, even though not even just a mastery banner system, I like the banners. You know, the banners were another way of also letting you know who got the kill. You know, sometimes you know you don't see that quick little diamond pop up like Greystone killed Murdock. You know, so you wonder like, wait, who was it? Like, did I get that kill? Then you're looking down. You know, you're taking your eyes off of what's going on. You're looking down to see if your kill count changed. Like, did I get it? Did I steal it? Did I, did somebody else steal it from me? That banner's right in front of you. It's like, bam. All right, Greystone's banner there. All right, Greystone got that kill.
you know what I would love to see? This is kind of tying into what you just said, but it's a different topic, but sort of. But is that in
My wife looks like JLo, except her face is different and her body shape's different. You know, yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
You know, in the chat box, you know, you type enter in chat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating to me if I'm trying to figure out like a bounty right on our team, or like, you know, who on the enemy team somebody killed somebody that had like a huge bounty.
Okay.
So, like you don't want like the ADC to get the huge bounty or whatever, you know. So like just sometimes it's good to try to die. If you're gonna die, try to die to somebody that is not gonna be able to do as much with that gold
Right.
port. But it would be nice to see like when you died, if you had a bounty
How much they got?
show up. It would show up in the text box like, you know, enemy Muriel killed ally Murdock for, you know, and claimed
600 gold.
Yeah, or something like that. You know, have
That
something like that.
was weird. We both said the same number, not even knowing.
Yeah,
we got
brain.
ESPN.
Yeah.
All right.
That was we're just sitting there thinking about our mortgages. We're like,
Yeah.
600. um, but that, or then also that's something that like people in league do all the time at higher levels, but we don't have sums in fault. So we don't have like flash or anything like that. But if any of those things ever get added, with league, if somebody flashes at like higher level play, generally like the support player will be like, okay, well, this guy flashed at this time, so now we know like it's a 5-minute cooldown. So they'll type in like, you know, Murdock flashed at 11 minutes 55 seconds, so we know now at 16 minutes and 55 seconds he'll have his flashback. You know, so and those are like important cooldowns to keep record of, and they'll type that in the chat box. That way you can hit enter and scroll up like if you're a jungler or whatever and be like,
Okay.
okay, well I've got like this time frame
Yep.
to like gank this person. If we ever get to the point where we have summoner spells of any sort of like functionality, I wish they would just be integrated into the chat box to where if you flash or if an enemy flashes, that just automatically appears with a timestamp in the chat box. Like ally Murdock flashed at, you know, this time.
Okay.
Or enemy Murdock flashed at this time, you know, something like that. So I think that would be kind of nice quality of life thing.
I think that'd be maybe not as an automatic announcement, but like as a team announcement, like something we should use. I think taking that idea and using that in game, because like at playing Murdock often, right? I have that ultimate my snipe, but if there's a enemy Greystone in solo lane, I don't necessarily know that his ult is down yet or not, you know. But
Right.
if but if I got a message in chat, hey, that's how long, I don't know. Okay, what's the cooldown for a Greystone's ult? I don't know. Let's just say it's 180 seconds, right? So if I got a message in chat, 100 seconds ago, I know like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, his ult's down. I can, he's at a good point, right? But so it'd be good, something like that, like or Kalari, when Kalari's ult's up, whatever. Like, okay, she used it here. We know her ult's down. We use like, all right, we know we have this much time until the ult's back, or something like that. So like a little more information, like a little timestamp on that to be, to be more utilized. Good idea. As a
Yeah.
team, people to start, like higher ups, I guess, like maybe us down in the bed, us. I'm say us and not you guys, but me and my 3 other people. Bedrock, Elo here. We can start maybe getting better by doing stuff like that.
Well, the one way to fix that would to be like when you bring up like the tab screen when you can like freely move the mouse or whatever,
Mhm.
um, and you can look at the items and like hover over them and see, you know, what each item does, that type of stuff.
Yeah,
If they had, on the top of the screen where you have like the characters and they have the little dot that has
yep.
their ultimate, whether or not it's on her.
For our
Sorry.
team, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, you can in League, once again, not to just keep referencing League, but they do a lot of things really well. You can just ping things, so like you can just like, if we basically do, basically what we could do is you could add those little dots on the tab screen for the enemies, and then when you hit tab, if you just click, like, let's say your jungler's coming in for a gank, you're going against a Greystone. He might not know if Greystone's ult is up, but you do because you've been laning against them. So you see him coming in for a gank, and you're like, okay, well, I don't think this is gonna work because he has ult. You could hit tab and then just click on that little dot next to his portrait that would show, his ultimate, whether he's 6 or not. He's got it. You just click it, and then it would just put in the chat box. It would just be a really quick ping. Well, not even a ping, but it would just show up in the chat box. It would say like Greystone Ultimate, ready or something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
So you would just know then. Or if
Yeah.
an ally's ganking you and you want to tell them like I don't have ult or whatever, you could ping it real quick, or you could ping your items as well, like hey, like he's got this item, be careful or whatever. There's a
Interesting.
lot of like little things like that you could do with the tab screen.
Sure.
Um, so you can also in League you can also ping your health bar and your mana bar. Because a lot of times I see junglers like go for something in this game, and you're like, "I don't have any mana, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? I can't help
Yeah.
you."
Yeah. I
But
got I got flamed last was it last night? I got flamed last night because I didn't get my jungler ganked and I was low health. I was the ADC. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna gank right lane anymore. He doesn't even come or help." I'm like, "Dude, you ganked 3 times. All 3 times I'm low health. What do you want me to do?
right,
Like,
yeah,
I can't do anything."
yeah. In League, you can. I mean, there's like I said, you can ping your health bar. So I've done that before. When a jungler's not paying attention to his laner and he's going for a gank, and you're like, "Whoa!" and you like spam ping your health bar like 3 times, and it says like ally health like 10%, or whatever. It just has a little chat box, and then they see it just populate real quick, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then they back off,
Yep.
before anything happens, something like that, or ally mana,
Yep.
at 5%. So
Yep.
something like that would be like pretty nice, I think, but I don't know how they'd implement that.
Sure. Windu wants to let everybody know he's apologized for the inconvenience. He is off, out doing some great things. A little project he's got going on. So, but he's at a hotel, so we all know hotel Wi-Fi is not the greatest.
No, it's
So,
not.
but Sak, we all know you and me both could sit here, and even Windu if he was able to talk, we could sit here and just talk all day. But we're over an hour and a half now with this. Great episode. Thanks again for stopping by.
Yeah, of course.
You have anything else that you want to say to the community as they're watching this episode, and what you feel is coming with Fault?
I just think that once again, these patches going in the right direction. Um, I think that they're just very slowly over time, just kind of grinding away, making the game better and better. So um, once again, if you watch this and you haven't played Fault for a while and you've had it uninstalled, for a while, I think it's at a point now where it's for the most part pretty enjoyable to play. So give it another shot, give it another go, and if you're somebody that's really interested in learning and improving, whether it be Fault or a lot of people were kind of playing this waiting for Pred too, and all those people, same thing for them. To take advantage of the teacher program. If you can get with somebody that MOBA talent, skills, all that stuff
Yep.
is not, it's universal for the most part. If you're good at one MOBA, you're probably gonna, I mean, that's why, I talked earlier about seeking help from Ray. Ray's a challenger player in League. And he's one of the best support players just in the game in general in Fault. So
Right.
going to him for help, like I said, those skills transition to other games. If you're trying to get better at this game because you want to, just be better, or you're just trying to increase your level of knowledge on how to play a MOBA effectively, take advantage of it, because anything that you do will help.
Right.
So if you've stagnated, if you haven't seen any sort of improvement for a while, take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And it's like you said, it's for everybody. And real quick, you said Ray. Just to make sure everybody knows, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's REI, right, for Ray.
Yeah.
In Discord. So yeah, you can find them in SMS Discord. Find them in SMS Discord. REI. So, but yeah, it's not for just the new people. I'm not new. I've been playing. I put over 1,100 hours, into the game. I'm not new at all, but I can definitely learn more and I can get better, and I want to get better. I eventually, want to be out of Bedrock Elo. I'll eventually get there. I'll hit gold Elo sometime. Don't know when, but it's gonna happen. All right. So, let me quickly go over here, see what we got Windu saying. Tried to call from a hotel room, yeah, horrible. So yeah, he's just having a hard time. He's again apologize for that. It's all good. He tried, appreciate it. But no, like Sock said, use the teacher program. The game's getting better. Game's getting tons better. After 13, like every patch from there has been improvement. And the fact that we're getting bi-weekly balances. I know some people aren't too happy with some of the balances we're getting, like they feel like they're neglecting some areas, but we're still getting balances, and we're able to play the game. So it's a big benefit. Utilize it, have fun. That's the biggest thing. Play the game, have fun, and if you find a bug or whatever, report it. That's what we're here for. Early access. Play the game, have a good time. Find a bug, report it. Go back to having fun again. So on that note, hope to see you all out there, and we'll talk to you all on the next episode. Peace.
Yeah, thanks for having me.